Guys.
Okay, guys, welcome to the ModCast show, guys. Tonight we're gonna be talking about different topics. They might offend you, or they might not, but they're totally controversial.
We're live.
Fuck up.
We're live, guys.
Are we live?
So
We are live from the ModCast show. Why are you laughing?
No more Jew jokes.
I think you're laughing because I'm actually good, dude. I belong in radio. I belong entertaining people.
Welcome to the ModCast.
That's a topic. Is radio dead? Or
Yes.
will it be dead? I don't think so, man. Like, I still listen to radio.
Radio's not dead, dude. Radio is one of the biggest posts of advertisement, like, nationally.
I know, but like, I think more and more people are doing like Spotify as opposed to like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like streaming.
Yeah,
services?
Spotify, Sirius XM or FM, whatever it's called.
What's it called when it's like through antennas instead of satellite?
FM radio, AM radio, broadcast radio,
No.
Ham radio?
ham radio. Wait, are our voices loud or do you just have music on it?
I have nothing going on in the background. It's just you guys talking.
Oh, okay, well, welcome to the pre-show.
Pre-show.
We're gonna be entertaining.
Y'all make sure you retweet the tweets.
Oh, yeah, let me...
Retweet.
I'll tweet it to my 2 followers, and both of them are in this chat right now.
One of them is me.
Confirmed.
Hey, wait a minute. I follow you.
Oh, there's 3 then. Sweet.
Yeah.
I follow you.
Oh, and thanks for the warning about going live. We said some Jew jokes in there.
Did we?
You are a joke.
You're living.
You know, words hurt, Kelly.
True.
So does your face. Oh, wait, I've never seen it, so I can't say if it does or not.
I think he looks like a Mexican boomhauer over here.
Yeah, you think he looks like a Mexican boomhauer?
Look at him.
My Lord.
Yeah, he does, actually. I'll give him a Mexican boomhauer.
I think that we all think that this was a good idea. But...
This is probably the biggest mistake any of us have ever
Probably.
made.
Oh, no.
We'll go down swinging, though.
Dude, getting into my fetish is the biggest mistake I've ever made.
This is going to end badly for everybody.
Forget the chances of getting any type of corporate job. We're done.
Yep.
Dude, that's why we have to be hidden. Dude, we could be the hidden boys.
True.
That just sounds like a group of gay guys.
Sounds
like
a rapist, though.
That too. It does sound like
killers.
I just want to be best friends with Mexican boomhauer.
I just wanted to be best friend with him too. Dude, can I be Bill? I'll be the Mexican Bill. No, Kelly's the best.
Dang old taco.
Now listen here. The benefits of using propane and propane accessories outweighs the power, the usage of electricity.
King of the Hill was such a good show, man.
Dottie is Dell because he always has adventures.
I'd be John Redcorn.
John Redcorn with Nancy. Who's Nancy then? Dude.
No, actually, I'm Rusty Shackelford.
Oh my.
That's my identity for this podcast. I'm not Dale Gribble.
No, you know who's Dale Gribble? Joe. No, who's that one? He's like.
Yeah, where's Joe from? Like
Illinois.
Illinois.
So he's not very redneck. Probably.
No.
No, he's not very redneck.
I think I'm Joseph.
Are they on? I mean, can they see?
Oh yeah, John Redcorn's child. Actually, Dale's child. Excuse me.
Hey, let it not be mistaken.
The King of the Hill is a lot better than Family Guy because it has like a better recurring storyline.
Yeah, Family Guy just kind of random every time.
Okay, Family Guy just straight up sucks.
No, I agree.
Hey Artemis, 96.
What up, Artemis 96? Welcome to the ModCast show.
Are you gonna do that every time? I hope so.
Every single person that comes in here.
Welcome
to the ModCast show tonight. Did someone get a link to the topic?
I've got. Oh, I mean, I can. I've pretty much got like this. There's that. I mean, this is pretty much it for right now.
Are you Knuckles serious that you don't have the link to the damn? It's simple. It's right there. It's right there. What?
Woo!
Sweet Lord, what do you mean, sweet Lord?
Hashtag anger management.
Hashtag sweet lord.
Hashtag let's get it on.
Hashtag wear a condom.
Get it on.
Hashtag.
So guys, welcome to the ModCast show.
Hashtag should trend sometime.
I think it has trended before.
Are we talking like the hashtag?
Hashtag.
Hashtag the word
What's
hashtag?
with the hashtag DA?
Wait, do you mean hashtag like hashtag twice or hashtag and then the word hashtag?
I don't know, but I'm about to hashtag DA. Well, either, really.
What to hashtag the EA?
Hashtag. There's a hashtag, by the way.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
It's trended before on Twitter.
People have no lives.
Right?
They really don't.
And I'd be one of those people, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, that's another topic. Social media.
Yep.
I mean, we were talking about this for a while, Dottie.
Oh, hashtag, oh my god, why?
Like, so
hashtag
how social
because we
media
don't
is
know
bad.
how to exist without hashtags? Hashtag that?
To be honest,
With the
I
side
never
hash
thought of
browns?
Twitter. Like, I made Twitter specifically to link to get power coins and Kelly's stream, basically. That's the only reason I made it.
Speaking of which, Purple Ranger Star 3.
Jesus Christ.
I think yours should be Dark Lives Matter. I'm not a huge Team Daw fan, to be honest. They've done me wrong.
Oh, what the fuck happened?
This background looks pretty sweet, though.
Yeah. Wolf Mission did a good job.
I like the colors.
It's very ironic that the person who's working a tech job has the worst internet in the group.
That's true. But I can't do it. I don't think you can either, so. I probably have the best internet, I think.
No, I have the best.
What do you have?
175.50.
Oh, I'm 60/60.
That's not bad. You're up.
No, I'm 57/62. My uploads.
Why do you need so much upload?
Because I got stuff to upload.
Posting pictures on Twitter?
Yeah. Post tweets, man. Wouldn't me talking be upload?
Yeah, but you probably need like 0.2 to talk on the phone.
That's what I'm saying. I got something to spare. Doesn't let me join? Okay.
He has too much swag.
It's those shorts and those shoes. I don't know. Add me to call. It won't let me. The first topic is going to be wait and see. You'll be pleased. We're talking about you specifically. Yeah, he'd have to restart Skype. All right. Okay, we'll restart the call. I'll add everybody.
And now everybody knows we're using Skype.
Great.
Where's Wolf missing? Oh.
What's going on, King of Brunswick?
Yo, I'm here.
What's up, Artemis?
Okay.
What's up, Tattoo Mama? How y'all doing this wonderful evening? I hope y'all doing good.
All right, at least everyone's in.
Kelly, why is your hair so different from your your beard is so different from your hair?
Genetics.
Genetics.
Do
Y'all hear
the
me?
carpets match the drapes?
Ooh, probably not.
Yes.
Yeah, they always do.
Wait, which drapes?
What?
That's all, folks.
It looks pretty bad in 4x3. I wish we could do widescreen pictures.
Looks good to me.
Why don't we just link them the pictures we have now, and you could just stretch them that way?
No, because then you can't see, like, when someone talks, their thing glows blue.
Oh, okay, that's true.
All right. Yeah, it looks fine to me for like now at least.
Man,
glad
this
you're
looks,
doing
this
awesome.
looks really cool.
So, are you guys gonna talk?
All right. Are we?
Well, so is this the beginning of the show?
Do we want to keep messing around, or do we want to start this popsicle stand?
I'm good.
All right. Start up. Whoever's starting.
ModCast Show episode 1. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hello.
Welcome to the ModCast, guys.
All right.
So, this is not going to last very long, but this is a first attempt at an amazing podcast, so I hope you guys like it.
I hope you don't. I hope you hate it. So our first topic. Go ahead and introduce it, Darkstar.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the UK just recently tried to vote on whether, well, I think they did pass it, to allow you to pick the color of your baby's eyes using genomics and shit. So basically you can go to your doctor and be like, I want my baby to have blue eyes. Do you guys think that's morally right to do so?
Is that by choice? Like, can anyone get that, or does it have to be like parents?
Well, you have to pay for it. So like certain people can afford it, certain not. But yeah.
No, I understand, but like, can any? Cause so if me and my spouse are both brown-eyed, can we go to the doctor and say, okay, give our kid that is coming up blue eyes,
No.
or green eyes?
Because you'd have to have the genetics for it.
Okay, so
Oh,
if your dad has blue eyes and your mom has brown eyes, then you can be like, we're gonna stay with the blue eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even if it is like a recessive gene.
Well, that and because you couldn't like say, oh, I want my kid to be black, even though we're both Caucasian. Like it wouldn't work out that. Okay, my question is, can they also change other aspects of the child, or is it just the eye color?
Okay, so they're working on that right now. They're trying to like, you can pay for that. It's like $6,000, and they check if the child has like Down syndrome or something.
Uh-huh.
So to prevent it from being born like with a disability. So they're working on that, and it's already present, but you have to pay a shit ton of money. But for the eye part, it's a little bit more cheaply, I guess.
Okay, so I'm for this, but here's my reason. So we already do this anyways, but not in a scientific way. We do this, we choose the most optimal partner for ourselves. So in a way, we already kind of have this done through natural selection.
That's true, but even then, it's not like you don't know till the end. And then this like, and this way you do know for sure if your child's gonna come out with brown eyes or sparkling blue.
Yeah, but we do. But it's just another extension of that process. I don't see an issue with it because if we do it anyways, we try and get the optimal mate. If you want a kid with blue eyes, or you want the kid with that, you marry someone with blue eyes, or you mate with someone with blue eyes, and like I said, we do that anyways. So what's the problem with taking that a step further? I see this as another part of our evolution.
Yeah.
An enhancement.
An enhancement, sure.
Aren't our like I guess I'm not sure if it's an enhancement because color eyes are a mutation that shouldn't happen. Essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure, call it what you want.
But they are more appealing, and colored eyes are weaker than normal quote unquote normal colored eyes.
No, colored eyes. Go ahead.
The thing I see happening in this is, has anybody heard of a movie called Gattaca? God, when did that come out? That had Ethan Hawke. Came out in 1997, and what it was all children were genetically altered when they were born. So instead of having regular impulses like regular humans do, they removed the violent impulses. They altered certain things so that way it was a peaceful society. And then you had children that were born in they were called God's children because they weren't genetically altered at birth. They were not untainted, so they had violent impulses. They had defects, stuff like that. And they were treated differently in society. So how long before it's something like that?
Well, I mean, I think that's a slippery slope you can address. However, back to Wolfman's point for a second, when he said it's not an enhancement, I think it is an enhancement because having those different blue eyes makes you more desirable.
Yeah.
So in the evolutionary scale, that's a better thing. You become more desirable, you become a more desirable mate, which will make it easier for you to pass on your genes, which is really the ultimate reason for human existence, surviving and passing on your genes, mating.
Well, that just destroys the whole natural selection thing because people just get to pick and choose what genes they want. They want the kid to be tall, they want the kid to have blue eyes, and eventually it's just going to be something like Hitler's original idea of everyone having blue eyes, blonde hair, over 6 feet tall.
Sure.
There's not going to be any diversity.
But you still have to use the genetics you have.
Yeah, but don't get into the realm of it being subjective and stuff like that. Because I would never want my kid to be white and then be like 6 feet tall with like blue and like blonde eyes. But that's just me, and I don't think everyone, like a lot of people in the world, would actually want their kid to be this like model almost kind of thing that we've like through genetically molded him to be.
Well, but he has to be within the genetic pool you have available between you and your.
In like 1,000 years, where's that pool going to be at?
Well, where's it going to be at now?
I mean, they theorize in 1,000 years we're all going to be like some mixture of those, some light olive brown.
In 1,000 years, naturally there won't be any more colored eyes.
Sure.
Globalization.
Sure, maybe.
No, not baby. Like it's.
But that's the thing. This was a theory that they thought of like 10 years ago. Now that this technology exists, maybe it could be fundamentally changed, and people get to choose what color.
Okay, and I think back to more what Kelly was talking about. I worry about taking away the natural diversity and the natural way of creating things, and we won't have amazing people like an Einstein. We won't have amazing, weird kind of people who are different because they're not perfect on the outside. They're not perfect. You look at him, you're like, that kid's a little bit weird. He's not the perfect kid, but he turns out to be an Einstein. And I'm worried that we would change that, and we would make him more desirable. And
the way I see it is like we wouldn't have the peaks we have today. I think it'd be just way too standard. And by peaks being like the Einsteins, the Newtons, or whomever is like present nowadays that is like a super genius or this like grand artist. I feel like if we follow that path of where we're genetically enhancing each other, there'll be a lot less peaks in like throughout like history with individuals than if
Yeah, because I mean, they've proven that uglier people tend to have higher IQs, even if you don't agree with the whole measure of IQ. It's true.
Well, I think. Okay, go ahead.
So that's why you're so smart, Darkstar.
Yeah, I'm ugly as shit, man.
Continue. Sorry, I just had to get one in.
So basically, like attractive people have like more likelihood of attracting mates and having kids. But if you're not attractive, you have to bring something else to the table. In humans, that just happens to be intelligence. Once everyone is like equally as beautiful, what's gonna thrive them to do well in school to surpass somebody else? I don't think anyone's
Maybe the
gonna.
persons that aren't like, you know, the people that are different, there's gonna be
But
gonna drive people towards them.
But there's gonna be very few different people. That's the point.
Yeah,
I-
that is a point.
I-
Mind you, like I
Possibility
think the whole
for
blue eye
races.
thing, like now, is so attractive because it's different, and like actually, a blue color eye is way more appealing than a brown color eye because it draws more attention. But if it's the same as everything else, then it wouldn't be that way. And then when you see someone with a brown eye, when they get to the point where they're all blue and green, then maybe that's, you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think all eyes are beautiful when you're like really close to the person. They're really beautiful. But when you're farther away, you can't really notice brown eyes, but you can notice light blue eyes or green.
Yeah.
I suppose my I'm for this. Just to wrap it back around, I'm for this, but I think there has to be a limit because we're going to eventually not evolve
eventually
further.
there has to be a limit.
We're going to be devolving, or we're going to stay the same, and we're not going to be able to adapt to our environment or whatever the next step in our evolution has to be.
I mean, evolution is pretty much dead at this point because we're already doing genomics with our plants, genetically modified foods. It's just a matter of time. We're doing it with our animals too for poultry farms and cattle farms. It's just a matter of time before we do it for humans too.
But it also
If we're gonna get into that, isn't that part of the like evolution itself, like through humans, maybe?
It also comes to, actually, I was about to say something like that, Wolf. It also comes down to the fact that, okay, when we are starting to do stuff like that, it is kind of a force of evolution. We are picking and choosing certain traits that we like and we want to bring out. So that means future generations will have these particular traits when the other ones have already been weeded out genetically. And that is kind of a force of evolution, but it's not a natural evolution like we have been doing over the last, 6-7 million years or something like that.
Yeah, we're not millions of years old, but yeah.
Yeah, but you could also make a claim that
even
it is
from
natural evolution.
But even
Because
from
of-
Cro-Magnon man to current Homo sapien, we have still evolved huge from that to what we are now.
The genus Homo or human, yeah, Homo has been around for 2 million years and it's evolved from there. So yeah, we're 2 million years
even
old.
then, it's just like
Well, I would argue that, back to saying it's not necessarily natural, I think if it happens and we're natural beings, if if we do it, it is then natural. Yeah, would you not say, okay, so say
that's what I was about to say.
Okay, for example, say we mess up the ozone, let me take the step back. So the age that the dinosaurs lived in and the age that we live in are completely different because of the environment. Now, say that we're ruining our environment right now, global warming. You could say it's a myth, whatever, talk Fox News. But if we ruin that environment, okay, we're going to eventually have to adapt to that. So when we adapt to that environment, would you not say it's natural?
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So you can say that we're gonna create our own evolution, but there's the problem with creating our own evolution is it takes a lot of resources, and there's gonna be a point where we run out of wood, we run out of silicon and iron and steel, shit like that.
It's gonna happen anyways.
So we're not gonna have the means to continue the evolution. If we do it artificially, it's gonna cut off after a certain point of time.
Okay, so is your argument towards like if you do it artificially, it's gonna happen a lot quicker than it would happen otherwise?
See, that's the thing. If it's artificially, it's not natural progression of evolution. If we allows ourselves to hold on, it's like diseases that would usually have killed us zero flat, like we would have been dead 1,000 years ago. We are now immune to. We have a natural immunity because it's been in the gene pool for so long that our bodies have adapted to it. So that's how natural evolution happens. But if we force it by genetic manipulation, it is no longer natural evolution. It is artificial evolution.
I mean, it's artificial because of the
because we are causing
now.
It.
Yeah,
but even now we're not.
That's still
natural. That's not natural.
Okay,
natural evolution would be I guess, okay, so Alexander the Great had an idea to remove his enemies from his territory by breeding out the race, okay? So what he would do is he'd kill all the kids and the men and then have his soldiers breed with the women. So after about 4 or 5 generations, that race would be completely gone. Or actually it'd be so muddled with the other race that it wouldn't matter anymore. They wouldn't be able to do an uprising or anything like that. So that is a controlled natural... It's sort of an example of a controlled natural evolution, but it's not an artificial one because he's not going in and removing certain things and breeding something
I guess my
already
argument
there.
is like, in a way, how is it not natural? Because of those things from the past and what we've gone through, those millions of years of like evolution, we've come to this point where we can create all these things, where we provide ourselves all these tools and all these methods of creating better things, not only for us, but like generations ahead of us.
Well,
how is that like? I mean, it's happening a lot faster than you would than it's happened before. But how is it not natural? If it's like, I mean, I understand that it's ourselves creating it, but I just don't see why that shouldn't be the way it should happen.
Okay, I'm
go ahead.
I'm half and half on this. So I think we're getting caught up on the word natural here, which is really irrelevant, I think, in the long run. But I think we have this thing where we say if it's not natural, therefore it's bad. That's a naturalistic fallacy.
I am not specifically saying unnatural is bad at all. I at this point, the only way we're gonna evolve is if we force it, or a couple more million years when our world forces us to evolve into something else.
We don't need to necessarily evolve.
No,
yes,
we're making changes to the environment that are going to require us to evolve, and it's going to happen rapidly as opposed to over 10 million years.
Sure.
I mean, if the technology is there, then we could just leave the planet, and just like it almost never happened in a way.
That's what happened. I think the thing is we're saying it's bad because if this catastrophe happens now, or if this bad thing happens in the future, I think it's kind of a slippery slope we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We do right now. It's not a bad thing. Right now we have access.
Go ahead and finish what you're saying. Then I have to say something that Ravenmacher just pointed out. But go ahead.
Right now we have access to these technologies and to all these human creations that can help us survive. And the only reason it would be bad for us to be dependent on that is if that went away. But it's not gone away, so I don't necessarily see a problem.
I feel like the part of the evolution is that it's going to get better, even though this world may go to waste. If the technology is there, then we just might move up to space, which is fine. Which is, in the grand scheme of thing, of like a couple million years, won't really matter. I mean, this would have been once the home of the human race, but now it's somewhere else.
No, it's been brought up in the chat that, and this is a good point. As of right now, this genetic option, this altering, is only really optionable to the wealthy. So what it's going to end up happening is the wealthy are going to be able to alter themselves to the point where it becomes humans will split into two different breeds, the poor and the wealthy. I mean, it's kind of like that now, but we're still genetically the same.
How wealthy do we...
That's happened before, though.
Can I offer a counterpoint?
Go ahead.
So right now, this technology is already present, and a lot of people use it, and it's covered by insurance to take away genetic defects such as Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, stuff like that. And it only costs $6,000. But the thing is, it's covered by most insurances.
Only $6,000.
That's what I was talking about.
And to the people who don't have insurance can't do this, and they end up with a kid with cerebral palsy.
But I think once that technology becomes more prevalent, it'll be cheaper. It'd be like before, penicillin would have been $6,000. But now that it's become more prevalent, as technology progresses, this is going to become less and less expensive. Just like buying a 750 Ti is less expensive than buying a 980.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say that this has happened in our evolution before. We've split off into two different things. Where, let's see, like Homo erectus and then Homo sapien were two different things. And eventually those died out. But
yeah, man. Homo sapien did dry out, didn't it?
I mean, there's always going to be a standard deviation between the wealthy and the
I know,
and the
I was
poor.
being sarcastic. I know we're Homo sapien.
Yeah, financial discrepancy between the two, I don't see that necessarily as a big of a problem. I think that's another slippery slope fallacy where you don't know that to be sure. The technology isn't inherently bad because that could happen.
And as time goes by, poor people are getting the things that rich people were getting 10 years ago. Now every poor person has an iPhone. Well, not an iPhone, some cheap smartphone, some cheap laptop. 10 years after the rich people got the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Now we're going to see, especially with medicine, the rich people are kind of the beta testers of this new technology. Once it's more affordable and feasible, it's going to be sent out to the consumer, poorer sector of the market.
But isn't this also in the spirit of evolution? That the richer people will get it and the poorer people won't? That's the whole point. The idea is you mate with a strong mate. That way your offspring are successful and able to carry on your genes to the next, on and on and on. So I think this is in the spirit of evolution. Some people get it and some people don't.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing about all lives matter and equal employment opportunities, affirmative action, stuff like that. Everyone thinks everyone deserves the same opportunities.
If that's the case, then that's not really like evolution. That's like actually preventing evolution.
I am going to lay down one ground rule before we go any further. Let everybody finish speaking. Everybody in this call so far has been guilty of cutting each other off. Let everybody finish speaking.
I'm not really sure when we're finished, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, just one of those things. And it's really hard, too, because you want to say something right off the bat, and somebody's trying to articulate something, and you end up cutting them off. And you probably don't do it on purpose, but try to, be mindful of what other people are saying.
Okay, yeah, we just got to figure out each other's cadences.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. This is the first episode, so there's gonna be little things that are gonna pop up like that. So
hashtag last episode ever.
Right.
Last episode.
hashtag last episode ever.
Hashtag last episode ever.
Series premiere and series finale right here, buddy.
Hashtag Kelly's and Zick Hole.
I think we've about discussed all we can on this. Are y'all done?
As far as actually something I want to branch off into this one, it's the whole the religious aspect to it. Now, if we go about and genetically alter ourselves, this is something that made me think. Okay, I watched this show called Knights of Sidonia, and in order to keep humans alive, because they were the only ship left out there of humans in the universe, they had to genetically alter their humans to where they used photosynthesis. Okay? So instead of eating every day, they only had to eat once a week. And otherwise they just bathed in sunlight and they got their nutrients and everything from that. So, when you've altered yourself to that point, to the point where you are no longer functioning like you were supposed to originally, does that still make you a child of God, or does that make you a child of man?
Okay, I'll start off with this. In the world where I assume God exists, right? I think in that context, your soul is the most important thing. I think the how you function and the way you function is really irrelevant. I think it's about your soul, and that's what makes you a child of God. If anybody would like to.
Isn't that like your conscience?
Well, your soul is an intangible thing. It's...
Okay. Are you done, Darius?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, so we call God our Father, right? Mm-hmm. And parents are meant to build you up from give you your morals, give you like guidelines on how to live your life and how to treat people. I think it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that God is supposed to put you on this earth and let you evolve yourself. After a certain point, let you take over the evolution process.
Well,
just like a parent lets you go when you turn 18. Same thing with your relationship with God.
Well, I think, but it still comes down to, yes, I think you would be in that sense still a child of God, because no matter what, you are a child of God. I don't think how you function matters. It's all about your soul, and you can't really take your soul away, I guess, because it's intangible.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know where to go from there, but what is a soul, though? That's something I want to talk about real quick. Darkstar, you'd probably be the best to answer this one.
I haven't really thought about it, dude. I've always been told it's
who you
it's
are,
your heart, it's your morals, your.
That's your brain, though.
I think it's maybe like a different way to say conscience.
But we can explain conscience. See, this is what
I'm sorry. Can I?
How it's been.
Go ahead, Wolf. Go ahead.
I think how it's always been explained is like your soul is who you are as a person. It's your conscience, it's your morals, it's everything you are. Other than like that isn't your body. You know, it's what it's who you are. You know, I'm Francisco. That's who I am, and that's where my soul comes from.
Okay. I kind of agree with Wolf on that. I think what your soul is it's you. It's who you are as a person, and it is your life energy. It's what makes you go. It's that one element that science can't really ever explain to why our bodies and we are our brains and function like they do.
Well, that's your brain,
what it is. But what makes your brain fire? Huh? What makes all this stuff happen?
Chemicals.
Your soul. If explaining it that way, your soul is essentially the chemicals. Everything that you're saying is your brain.
It's you. It's not really your brain. I guess it's okay.
I mean, I don't believe in the soul.
Have you ever?
I'm just saying that's how it's been like taught to me.
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen Ghost in the Shell?
No.
Okay, Ghost in the Shell is an anime, and what they did is Major Kusanagi is she's cybernetic. She's got portions of a human brain in her skull, but the rest of her is all robot cybernetic, and she's top of the class infiltration unit, blah blah yakety schmackety. But what they have is they have like ghosts, and it's an aspect of the brain that science can never really understand. It's what gives them the personality of who they are.
But that's your brain, though. Yeah, okay. What
but
I'm
it's
saying
also
is,
an electrical field around your brain. It's something that's there that nobody can really get. It's a portion of you.
But that's literally your brain. Like what I'm saying
that all can be explained. Yeah,
that all can be explained.
Scientists can inject chemicals into your brain and make you feel sad, happy, all of this.
We're basically machines. I mean, we're not metal, but it's kind of like saying electricity is your computer soul.
See, I think like a very unique feeling is like resentment. Like for you to resent something is like extremely like different to whatever like everything else that I usually feel, which is why it's like so different. But like the thing is that like a scientist could inject something into you or make you take something that will make you feel resentful of something, yet you've done nothing to naturally like feel resentful.
So who do you guys think, without the U.S., who would be the next world police?
Russia. But I think we're not really the world police. I think that's not necessarily a true statement. I think we do our own thing, and we tell ourselves we're the world police, but we're really imperialistic.
Yeah.
But I would say Russia has the infrastructure.
I'd say either probably Germany or China. I don't think Russia could be the world police. I think there'd be too many people against them.
I think
for them.
I don't think each country is. I don't think we are. Each country is too patriotic and imperialistic to be a police per se.
Either way, because the horror for you like thing is like, who is the world police like of Europe? It's Germany. They won't let people like putting like in line and doing everything like it's right now in Europe. It's Germany.
That's not true at all. Germany has the weakest military in Europe.
Also, Germany is underneath the. After World War II, we became Germany's military. So technically, according to the bill and treaty and whatever signed at the end of World War II, they are only allowed to have a small defense force, not a military. We are technically supposed to be their military. Same with Japan, as a matter of fact. We are supposed to be their military also.
They have to be a pacifist military.
I think it would have to be a combination of some, like the UN or the European Union. It would have to be like a collection, because no one country would be able to do it. Because for a lot of reasons, because it would cause a lot of problems.
I don't think like the all the countries have the infrastructure for like to be the world police. I mean, there's Russia, but Russia's getting remedied and India right now by like the Middle East because of lowering gas prices
or
the price per barrel.
I think it's the UN or the European Union or something like that, because I don't think we have a world police besides them. Because each country is for their own interests at this point.
So this might be a little bit controversial, but I honestly think without the U.S., there wouldn't be a world police. There would just be anarchy,
I don't think so.
And there would be China taking over Southeast Asia,
Sure.
Russia taking over Eurasia, and Sudan taking over North Africa.
That could be said, but even then, like, the only reason China is as big is because of the U.S.
Well, we keep them honest, I think.
China is a huge country before the U.S. was ever around. China was a gargantuan country before the U.S. was around.
Yeah, but not with the same kind of power.
Well, yeah, world power. I think.
No.
Oh, they have way more power than us. They have way more influence than us.
At least economic. But didn't FDR start the United Nations or something like that?
China does not have more economic influence than the U.S.
I think he started NATO.
Yeah, NATO. There we go. Yeah, I think the U.S. is kind of like the big friend in the background, in a way.
Yeah.
Like if we have a lot of allies, so if anyone starts posturing or something, I think it prevents that. But I think also Russia does that as well for like the CIS region, like the former Soviet Union. We don't mess with them.
So that's the thing. Russia has a conflict of interest. They're probably good people and they want to help the world be as good a place as possible, but they also want to make a lot of money and they want their country to rise up to what it used to be again. That's why they're doing the shit they're doing in Ukraine and in Syria.
Yeah, and we can't get involved because of them. And I think also, like, the reason we don't mess with North Korea is because China's sort of an ally with them. So I think that goes all around the world in different regions. So, next topic.
Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, there was just a ruling in a couple days ago from Apple and the FBI. They're deciding whether Apple should grant access to the cell phone of one of the shooters in the San Bernardino attacks. So Apple said they would refuse to unlock the phone because it would infiltrate the privacy of all Americans. What do you guys think about that?
I think that they should shut up and give them access, because at this point, this person has given up their freedoms to that kind of stuff.
No, that's not.
Did they kill somebody?
Okay, here's the thing. They don't have access. They can't unencrypt the phone. They don't have the technology for that. They would have to build an algorithm to unlock it, and then doing so and handing it over to the FBI, it would allow the FBI to open.
Then what you do is Apple holds the phone, decrypts it, and keeps the decryption program. Simple as that. If the FBI wants the information off of it, they have to understand that they can't keep the decryption program. They would have to get the information after Apple breaks the phone.
Has this person been convicted? Like, are we sure he did it?
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he's done. I mean, at this point, he has no freedoms. He has no choice. He's done. I mean, I don't know why they haven't executed. Is he dead, or is he just in jail right now?
No, they killed him.
Oh, they killed him. Okay. Never mind. He's dead.
He built in a system into the phone where if you fail to unlock it after 10 times, it's gonna wipe out the whole hard drive on the phone. So the Apple would have to build an algorithm to think of the 10 most possible combinations without destroying the information on the phone.
I don't think Apple should be obligated to do it. I think that's the FBI's responsibility. Yeah. If you can't do it, sorry. I don't like that they're making these people do this. I think that should be your responsibility.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they shouldn't be. I kind of agree with Coolahan in there. I don't think they should be I'm sorry for cutting you off, Dark. I don't think they should be forced to unlock, but they should cooperate with the FBI to unlock it so they can access it. Not give the FBI the information they need to unlock it. I mean, in-house, unlock it, and then hand it to the FBI. That would be fine.
I think it's a bad business decision. I think it's a bad business decision because people are going to be like, well, if they're going to work with FBI, I think people are worried about, because like the Patriot Act and stuff like that, the NSA, our government's gone insane with spying on people.
They've already got all the backups of our phones and everything. Come on, folks.
But I think
that's the thing. Are you willing to give them more? Like, they already have so much. You're just going to give them more because they already have enough?
They already got it. You know they do. They have copies of all my text and my emails and stuff like that. I know this. You know this. They probably have a copy of, this video going up right now.
Okay, so this brings up to another talk: liberty versus privacy. What is it? Is it okay? How far should the government go to protect us as far as invading our privacy? How far do you what do you think is too much?
I think when they start telling me
it's already been too much.
I think when they start telling me who I can sleep with or I can be with and what I do in my bedroom, that's too much. What happens in my private house is a little too much.
But don't you think, do you not consider your cell phone, your email, your private thing?
Actually, the only thing private about my email is nothing. I don't actually, it's my business email, and even then, there's nothing offensive in there.
But what if there was?
But there's other people.
So they kept to you and the person.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't like the whole argument that, if you have nothing to hide, then you should just not care about them infiltrating your privacy. We care about our First Amendment, we care about our Second Amendment, but we just glance over the Fourth Amendment and give away all our rights. Mm-hmm. They can't open our mail, but they can open our email. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
See, just because it's on an electric system does not mean that it's not the same thing.
Yeah. No, but they play it that way, and that's a loophole.
And here's the thing. This is what I want. I don't care if they're going through my information to find terrorism. If they potentially find someone who is planning a terrorist attack, that's great, and the technology is working. But they have done studies to prove that they have found almost no terrorist threats, and the ones who were threats were fake, like some little 13-year-old kids who weren't actually going to do anything. So, like, if it's not useful, it's costing taxpayer money, then why do we still have it?
What's the point of having?
Because the knowledge is power, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's the new currency. Intelligence is the new currency.
I am gonna say that inside of our private homes, it should be private. Outside, where it's public, that's a whole nother story. Recording me while I'm walking. Hold on. Recording me while I'm walking down the street, they can do that. It's not my property. It's not anything like that. I mean, that's the thing. Outside of my home, there's not much we can really do about them watching us. Inside of the home, that's when I take issue, because that's my home.
I don't care if they watch me. I want to be safe from incrimination. Let's say I did something on the internet, and they obtained the evidence illegally. I would want to be safe from incrimination because of that, because they didn't have a warrant to search my stuff.
Yeah, because what happens when it starts with, you can open your email, or they can read your email, have nothing to hide. But see, that's it. They'll keep taking they'll keep taking liberties. They'll keep saying, okay, well, it's your email, but now we need to see what goes on in your house. Now we need to do this. Now we need to do this. And it's all in order to keep you safe, and that's their excuse. They can do literally anything if they say it's all about keeping you safe. I mean, keeping government agents in your house, making sure you don't commit crimes, would keep us safe. But where does it end?
Yeah, that's the whole argument of liberalism and conservatism, because government technically, by definition, is providing protection in exchange for liberties. So you just have to ask yourself the question: how many of your liberties are you willing to trade for said protection? And are they really protecting you? And is it worth the money that it's costing us, the taxpayers?
I think I think that protection it's not protection anymore, because then they have all the access to everything, so you're less safe, in my opinion, because they know everything about you.
And it puts us at risk of other countries spying on us and hacking our information, obtaining social security numbers, stuff like that.
Because that information is just there.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, Fred.
Would you drink helium-infused beer if it worked?
I'd do anything to get fucked up.
Nice.
No.
So you would drink a beer that made you sound like Mickey Mouse for about 5 minutes?
Well, you're gonna sound ridiculous either way. Might as well sound like Mickey Mouse.
All right.
That's true.
You're gonna make an ass of yourself regardless.
What do you guys think, Wolf? Darkstar?
Right, dude. I mean, if it's a fun drink, why not? There's literally nothing lost and nothing gained.
Like
Other
once,
than like maybe enjoyment.
I would do it once. Like I don't see the point. It's like you could just grab one. You can buy one of those balloons from the dollar store and have the same effect.
But what does helium do? I mean, what would it add to the drink? I suppose
It makes the conversations funny for like 5 minutes.
that just doesn't sound. It would. First of all, it would make the beer more expensive, I would imagine. So it would be worth it.
There's four of us, and someone brings a 6-pack of that. Of course, we're gonna drink one.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think I'll like bring a suitcase of it.
And helium is a very scarce resource, and we're just gonna waste it like drinking it at bars for 5 minutes.
I mean, we're wasting it on balloons, and you probably need a way less concentration. First of all, it can't be dissolved in a liquid.
Yeah, it's impossible to make it because if you put helium in a liquid, it just freezes your beer. But if they figured it out, and by the way, what helium does is it's a denser gas. No,
it's a lighter gas.
It's a lighter gas, excuse me. And when it goes across your vocal cords, that's what causes the high pitched sound.
And you can obtain that with different chemicals as well, or elements as well. You can do that with hydrogen.
Also, helium is poisonous because you can't take like a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people actually who die annually from helium, which is a pretty stupid way to die.
Yeah.
You'll die, you're like sounding like a clown.
No, man. No. Man. I see the light. I see the light.
Why is your guy dying? I like that your guy has a high voice. He dies.
What was I gonna say? Damn. All right, so let's talk about the real heated debate that we all know we want to talk about.
Okay.
Legalization of marijuana. Dottie, I want you to be against it.
Okay.
Darkstar, I want you to be for it, and Wolf, I want you to be against it.
What? Okay,
I want you to be a flip-flopper, Wolf.
Yep, no, you two are against it, and me and Dark are for it. I want you guys to put out your best argument.
Who started off?
Go.
Okay. I'm against the legalization of marijuana because I don't want people if I have a doctor, right? I don't want him to be high on marijuana while he's doing my surgeries. This is a really tough side to argue. There's really no reason why we shouldn't.
Summon all your ignorance, Dottie.
I don't want people driving because you can't test for it.
Engage your Donald Trump.
You can't test.
First of all, we're going to build a wall, okay? Okay. No, I don't want people driving when they're using marijuana because it slows you down and there's no way to test for it in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, there is with this.
Okay, well there might be.
I mean,
damn it, Wolf.
Okay, so here's my counterpoint. See, my counterpoint is like the lifestyle that it provides to a lot of people that smoke weed, and I think we've all seen the stoners around us that just kind of really, honestly, throw away their money every day to just get high for a couple hours. It's honestly a complete waste, and it provides nothing for themselves or anything or anyone around them.
Well, I think it. Okay, yeah, okay. I can't argue with it. I think that, sure, it'll do that. It's a waste of money, sure. I think it makes a lot of people paranoid, and that's not a good thing. Also, people driving with it.
All right, Darkstar.
Okay, so I grew up in the legal state, so I have. Well, so does Wolf. So, I feel like I saw the whole transition in Colorado from not legal to legal, and to be honest, I didn't see much of a difference. The people who were already smoking weed were now doing it without fearing for their life or going to prison, and it's also creating a lot of tax revenue for the states, which are helping the schools, helping the social programs and stuff like that. So I don't see why that should be a big deal. What I do agree with is decriminalization in every state, and then every state can decide for themselves if they want to legalize it.
Awesome. Now, my point of marijuana has many, many medical applications for it. It helps with cancer. It helps with people with cataracts. It helps with a lot of things. It helps with ulcers, pain management, all that stuff. There are many people out there who can benefit from the legalization of marijuana. Plus, on top of that, hemp is a excellent replacement for paper. Instead of chopping down trees, we could actually grow hemp and make a cheaper, better paper than the current wooden paper that's out there. And you can also create clothes, salves, multiple. There are thousands of things you can do with the hemp plant itself besides make marijuana.
Oh well, I still.
That's not even. I'm sorry. That's not even counting the revenue that is earned from marijuana. The fact that the amount of people going to jail for drug use is going to decrease. Crime will go down because people can now legally get it, and all they got to do is get a job. And honestly, if businesses don't want the people to get high, they can make it a yay or nay, just like alcohol. You have to be sober when you work at this job. Doesn't matter what you do when you get off of work, but you have to be sober when you do this job. It's the same thing as alcohol. You tax it, you unionize people, you go out and find G-Thug on the side of the road and give him a union card and tell him where he can deal, and tax the money he's coming in, and everything's good. He doesn't have to worry about carrying the gun. He got to worry about the cops or anything like that. It's all gravy because he's legal.
But I think with any mind-altering drug, and it is mind-altering in a way, kind of sort of like alcohol, sort of like, pretty much like alcohol. I think there's dangers with that. That yes, these could be prevented by saying, "Oh, you can't smoke at work, you can't smoke and drive." But I think it's harder to detect that you're high than you are if you were drunk. So I think that's something that would seriously need to be considered. How are we going to figure that out? How are we going to...
If the cop pulls him over and he's got like powdered donuts on his shirt, he's pretty much high.
Okay, there we go. This is a super difficult position to argue.
A wild card on this, like Tattoo Mama said, you just can't oppose something. Especially for me, you gave me this, dude. I grew up in California and now I live in Washington, which is our pretty much extremely liberal states.
Which is why I gave you the opposing view, because you have the for view. I want to hear you come up with something for an opposing view because you are for it.
There really is no like.
Well, I think the opposing view has to be it's mind altering, and I think it's harder to detect. I think that's the argument.
Okay, can we move so can we move to the next topic, which is the legalization of narcotic drugs?
Well, in general, like all...
In general, all drugs, yeah.
So when you say legalization, you mean also decriminalization, so no one can get arrested for it?
Yeah. Mind you, I guess decriminalizing and maybe in high amount of quantities.
I mean, as long as you don't have like a pound of the stuff, I don't see why. Here's the thing. If you legalize, I'm for it. Legalizing it, it would make it like I don't want to see a store selling meth on every fucking corner like you see at dispensaries right now. Like,
if it's legalized, then it's regulated too. So.
But the thing about legalizing it is that the government would want some way of taxing it, or else there's people who make a lot of money from it domestically or from other countries who aren't paying taxes on it. That's the only reason there's a war on drugs right now. It's not because it's killing people.
I think I'm not necessarily for legalizing per se. I'm for decriminalization, meaning if you get caught with it, you have to go through drug counseling and things that actually help and actually work.
And go ahead. No, go ahead.
Putting someone in prison is not solving the deeper root issue of why they're doing this. A lot of drug addicts, a lot of people addicted to things, have emptiness inside of them, and they have other issues that they're trying to self-medicate. And if you throw someone in prison, that's not helping them. Go ahead.
No, actually, that was pretty much what I was going to say, was that putting somebody in prison isn't going to do anything. When I spent 2 weeks in county for a stupid traffic ticket, which was the most ridiculous thing in the world, that's a whole nother story. There was a kid in there named Adam, I believe his name was. Anyways, he was a heroin addict, and you knew you could just tell because by the third day he was sitting in a corner, bunging up on his knees, singing Dido, okay. Which was hilarious. And it was his way of dealing with the DTs and all that stuff because he was going through withdrawals. But at the same time, it's like you're not doing anything for him.
At all, actually.
At all. I mean,
you're essentially making it worse.
Yeah, I mean...
The relapse is going to be more intense.
Exactly. He's going to turn around when he gets out and go find something and go back to it. But if we take the money we're putting towards these people in prison and jail and put their asses through... rehabilitation, they are gonna come out possibly better.
Well, and I also think that our prison system is not a rehabilitation. It's not a way to fix someone's actions. It's not a way. It's more just a let's put this person away. Let's not take care of the root causes and problems. I was watching Joe Rogan podcast, and there was a guy who was a drug expert, and he went to the Sweden and a lot of countries in that region, and they have clinics where people, I'm not sure the exact drug, but he says that there's a clinic where people can go twice a day, and they get, I think it's heroin maybe, I'm not sure, but it's administered to them, and they function normally, and like 90% of the people there have jobs, have normal lives. They just go to these clinics and take it, and they're just fine.
Portugal.
Well, Portugal too, maybe, I don't know. But either way, I think we have a lot of these stigmas on these drugs that are unfair because of our war on drugs and our hyper Protestant society. So I don't think these drugs are as bad as you think it is in moderation. But I think if we're going to administer these drugs, it needs to be through a hospital or a doctor. That way people can't abuse them.
A controlled area.
I feel like if they need to be if they were to be criminalized or legalized, then they would have to be highly regulated, especially for narcotics, and not just something like weed.
Can I propose a way of taxing it?
Sure, you buy it from the store, you put a percentage.
No, but I honestly do not want stores every corner selling meth and heroin.
Well, that's why they'll be
kids actually regulated. See that. Yeah, no, this is the way I think it should be. This is the way I think it should be regulated. I think you do it, whatever, and whenever you file for your taxes, you go into some place and you take a piss test, and if they find anything in your system, you pay an extra 5% of taxes. The money from those taxes go into helping paying for the rehabilitation of those who do not want to do drugs anymore.
I feel like how it should be the way it is in California. You have these predetermined areas, dispensaries, and you go to the doctor, you go get your medical card. Hopefully it's way more, administered, and and it's a better process than it is to get your weed card. And so then the people that sell you these narcotics know how much you've had, I guess, in the past week, past month, and you're only assigned so much for whatever the day is, or the week, or the month, depending on your situation. I feel like that would be a good way. I agree with you completely to where it's I wouldn't want a store every corner store to be selling meth, cocaine, and stuff like that. But I'd be okay with having a dispensary here and there across the city, to where I guess people can go and buy their fix instead of having to go into a doctor.
It'll destroy the cartel, that's for sure. But I don't know. It's a really touchy subject. Weed is another thing from Schedule 2 narcotics.
Okay, what do y'all think about Adderall? Do you think that should be given to kids or people?
No. I had attention problems when I was growing up, and a lot of my attention problems were becoming from the fact that I was bored with all my work. I got my work done, and I got bored. I didn't care about what the teacher was teaching me because I was bored, and it had nothing to do with any of that. It's just the work I was doing was easy. I banged through it really quick, and nothing would keep up with me. Now, I never took Adderall. I'm not going to put my kid on Adderall. I'm not going to put my kid on whatever the other crap is. What is the other stuff?
Ritalin.
I'm not going to put him on the Ritalin, no. Because that's just wrong. You turn the kid into a zombie. They don't. I know people who took that stuff, and it's like the fog rolls over their head, and they're like, it stifles creativity. It stifles being a better person, a bigger, smarter person. The whole boredom thing, the wandering around, the looking around, the daydreaming stimulates better brain growth and makes people smarter. Stifling that is horrible.
I take Adderall, and I'm not a zombie because I actually need it. Yeah. I think that it needs to be. They don't need to give it out so freely like they do.
No.
But for someone like me, I'm so scatterbrained that I don't have the time. I'm not being creative. I'm not really being productive because I'm not doing anything. I'm like thinking about, oh, something here. Oh, shiny thing over here. Shiny thing over here. I can't do work. I can't get things done because I'm so scatterbrained. Adderall, what it does is it like hypes your brain up, and you would think, oh, that just causes that problem tenfold, but it doesn't. It makes you focus in on one certain thing, and that's why I can have this conversation with you right now without being distracted by something. I'm sort of a zombie without it because I need it, and I don't think enough people. I think they give it to people who don't need it a lot.
As a side note, for someone that doesn't need it, it's been an incredible drug that I've had before. It's one of the best drugs I ever had before.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, no offense, but I think you're being a little quick to write it off for your children.
I kind of agree with Dottie in that it needs to be more stringent in who they give it to. They shouldn't be dishing it out like Halloween candy.
I think
it's almost like an excuse nowadays.
You should see 3 psychiatrists and maybe a physician, and then after you see those 4 people, then they can prescribe it.
Yeah, I know my kids won't need it.
I just feel like people in general need more attention for their well-being.
Well, that's a whole other conversation about education also, because education right now isn't actually education. It's teaching kids how to test.
Yes. And you're not inspiring them. Mm-hmm. You're not giving them, I guess you're just giving them information and telling them to, here, write this down. You're not explaining things to them. You're not making a universe seem like this wonderful, amazing thing full of all these possibilities. You're making it, learn that, and that's it.
I feel like it's the chicken and the egg kind of thing, like nowadays. Because I feel like a lot of teachers are the way they are because it's the way that it's been done for the past, 20 years. And it's been so messed up that that's the way they learn to teach, to do it.
Well, it's all about test results because my sister's a teacher, and they stress out all the time because they're not teaching anything; they're teaching for the tests.
Yeah.
So they can't spend a little extra time on something that's interesting or fascinating for the kids. They have to keep a strict schedule so they can pass these tests. It's becoming more of an industry.
But I'm sure that we've all had that one, 2 or 3 really good teachers that have actually inspired you to do something better with yourself.
Sure.
Actually made it school fun or engaging and stuff like that. I've had a few teachers like that. Most of them were just cut and paste teachers where we were just learning to test.
Well, I think it's becoming more of an industry. I think that's the thing about our country. Everything's becoming industrial. It's not about learning. It's about getting this. It's like a factory. It's like getting this kid through as fast as you can to get it done because because they don't want to pay the money it takes to educate kids. They want to use that money for other things.
Look the way it is now, like college, you literally are nothing with college. There's very few industries they could go into that if you don't have college, then you're essentially useless. People look at you that way.
And you know what? Raven Marker just brought up the best point. We need more trade schools. We need less testing schools, more trade schools. We need to go in first. Elementary school, middle school, I get it. Let's teach the test. But high school does not need to be testing. It needs to be a trade school. We need to learn something. By the time we get out of there, we should have something that resembles an associate's. I mean, plain and simple. Now we should be. We should, because when I went to high school, I went in for automotives. I can take apart my 1991 Pontiac Sunbird, anything from the 80s and the early 90s. I can take them down and rebuild them. And everything now, I need 5 more computer degrees and a mechanics degree to even look at. And it's like, okay, I didn't learn all of that, but I learned enough to do what I can do. But that's because I went to, in my last 2 years of school, I went to Andrew Conway Career Center. and that's where I learned a trade.
But I think my worry with that is making kids choose a trade too early, where you don't really care about school. You don't really get.
That's why there's 4 years. You take 2 classes a day where you can pick two trades. There's 4 semesters, 2 trades, and if you don't like the one you're going in the next semester, you pick another one.
Okay, I thought you were talking like straight up trade school, like
no.
Go from there.
No. I'm talking. You have English.
Style?
No, you have English. You have math. You have social studies. The primary things, and then everything else. All your other classes that semester are trade.
Or maybe starting from your junior and senior year count as college credits. You do it that way.
Yes.
I think that's too late, honestly. I think it's just start your freshman year.
I can agree with that too.
But but I think you're still learning basics in your freshman year. What I'm saying is the last 2 years being something you get your basic associates. But I think for sophomore and earlier, I think you're still learning the basics. Yeah, you're still learning geometry.
True, can't it be said that like you're still learning your basics because a lot of it was trying to get like meshed together before that? Because if before that you just focus on literally just teaching the like English, math, and history or whatever, right? This is the basics, the extreme basics, without trying to mix anything else. Then I think you'll be way more up to pace by your freshman year or sophomore year or whatever year it is that you start expanding onto what you would actually want to do with your future.
Yeah, but I think starting. What age do you go into? You go into the 9th grade? Was it be like 15? No, 14.
Yeah,
14.
14. I think that's too early. I think you still have a lot you need to learn at 14, and then at 16 maybe 16, 17, then you start doing a more what am I trying to say here?
Yeah, but do you think like 2 years would be enough for someone to like understand what they would want to pursue?
I mean, that's the European model. Basically, in high school, the first 2 years is basically just middle school, more advanced. The last 2 years is basically the first 2 years of your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
So as soon as you finish high school, you just start right into your actual core curriculum of college. So you graduate in 2 to 3 years from college, in Europe and some places in South America as well.
I think it's unnecessary. I think this junior and senior year being high school is unnecessary.
It's a waste.
And it's a waste of time and money.
Senior year is a waste. Because it doesn't matter.
You don't do anything.
Like, it really doesn't matter.
How do you...
Like,
okay.
I was done with school by my junior year.
I don't remember my senior year. I literally had 2 classes in my senior year, and I was done. And I saw my high school maybe 3 times that year because I was at the Career Center. I came in for my 2 classes, and then I just went to work.
I have a 9th grade education, so either way. High school didn't really do much for me. I left my junior year, but I was about in the 9th grade subjects.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about homeschooling? Good or bad?
It depends on if the parent
socially
will stick to the curriculum. If the parent will do the actual work with their kid and make them learn the stuff they need to learn, then I'm all about it. It does sometimes make for a socially awkward child, sometimes, but sometimes children turn out just fine. So, I mean, to me, as long as the parent does what they're supposed to do, I have zero problem with homeschooling.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
Where would they get their social interaction? Oh, go ahead, Darcy.
You go to the park. Go to the park. Take the kid to the park. Get plenty of social interaction up there.
You want to say something, Darcy?
Okay, so I think it's pretty damaging to, like, socially, it's pretty damaging for the kids. You say take them to the park, but that's maybe going to see friends 1 hour per day, a couple days a week. But as opposed to these other kids who see their friends 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and sometimes on the weekends. So they have a lot more social exposure. But I also think it's bad because the parents who are homeschooling them are not receiving the same funding that schools are receiving. So some of them can afford all the things they need to teach them, but some of them can't. And the ones who can't are providing a worse education for their children.
Yeah, and they're not teachers. They haven't been trained to teach. They're just people. And
learning with the kid.
And also, okay, and to another point, I also think that just as equally good as seeing your friends 8 hours a day, seeing people you don't like 8 hours a day, having to deal with people you don't like 8 hours a day. I think that's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than seeing your friends 8 hours a day. That confrontation. Learning to deal with people.
Also seeing different opinions, stuff like subjects and stuff like that you wouldn't actually see at home.
Yeah, because your parents have one view and that's their view. But in school, you have multiple different teachers with multiple different views and multiple different teaching styles. It's important. Instead of just your parents' opinion on this or your parents' thoughts on the subject, you get multiple viewpoints. All right.
We're gonna wait a minute on this subject because I want to hear what Tattooed Mama has to say about it. Now, both of my sisters homeschool, and they're both psychotic. There's a difference. But my sister Jessie is just like, my kids are gonna go visit her in summer for like a month and a half or something like that. They're gonna go up there and hang out with their nieces, or with my nieces and nephews. God, there's so many people. I don't know. There's 11 altogether, or 12, I think, because my sister-in-law's pregnant. And my sister has like plans upon plans upon plans for them for schoolwork while they're there for Christmas. And with the internet, it is almost impossible to not find free resources for homeschools, places to go to meet other homeschool groups locally and many other support groups, and that's very true too. You can find other homeschooling parents and make friends and stuff like that and work together. That is a very, very possible option. And I have seen people do that. I've seen groups at the park homeschooling their kids there, and it's like 5 or 6 moms with their kids. So it is out there. You can find all the resources online for free and just print them out. What was I going to say? We're going to wrap this up with one last subject, and this is going to be a quick one to end the show. And you have 5 words, each of you, 5 words to express your opinion about SJWs.
I have 2. Or 3, actually. Excuse my language. Fuck off, cunts. Who's next?
Darkstar.
Crybaby pussies.
Wolf Mason, what you got?
Horrible, incompetent, and annoying. I can tolerate them.
Don't you, Kelly?
Oh.
Is that your words?
Hold on. I got another one. I'm gonna headbutt the shit out of her.
I was gonna say they should all have 45 mouthwashes and just get it done with.
With the dry soap.
That's right, dry soap.
I've got one. I've got 2. And this is stream appropriate. Drink bleach.
Yes, drink bleach. That is our official.
That is our sponsor. Steel Series does not. I emphasize, does not. Believe that. Do not drink bleach.
Steel Series does not want you to drink bleach.
But SJWs all should pour themselves a big old tall glass of bleach and chug it down.
Our sponsor Kingwin does not support these ideas.
The ModCast's official view of official statement on SJWs is drink bleach. So
that is true, but not our sponsors. So
social justice warriors.
Social justice warriors.
They're awful people.
They really are. People like Anita
They are like...
What is her name? Anita Sargeski?
Anita Sarkeesian?
Yeah, whatever her name is.
Girl with the video game.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, butts in video games are problematic. So.
Yes.
I think that asses are the most wonderful thing in this world.
Alright.
They're amazing. So,
that's it?
That's it. So this is going to wrap up our first
and
last episode of the ModCast. So let me know what you guys think. So I'm going to post this up on YouTube here in the next 24 hours. Make sure you guys go back and watch it. Click the like, share it with your friends.
And welcome to the ModCast show.
That was awkward, Wolf. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Don't worry, that's the last time you guys are gonna have to hear that.
So, love your faces, guys. Bye. And that is it. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Worst podcast ever.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. 119. All right, 119, 120, 120. All right, I will. Thank you, Italian dude. I appreciate.